Hi, my name is Andrea, and I just wanted to share a story with you about my son Kyle. Years ago, my son was 16 years old, and he asked if he could go to a graduation party. He did ask if he could attend this graduation party with one of his other friends, and because it was a family graduation party, I was okay with it. He also asked if he could sleep over his friend's house that same night. So I agreed. I said it was okay. I called him right before I was ready to go to bed, and I left a message and I asked him to give me a call or shoot me a text just to make sure that he was okay. At 3:30 in the morning, I got a phone call from my brother, and he said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but people think that Kyle has been in a car crash. Go ahead and call the hospital." So I called the hospital and I said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but do you have anybody by the name of Kyle and his Kyle Fukushima?" And they said, "No, there's nobody here by that name." So I said, okay. I kind of felt better about that, knowing that he wasn't at the hospital. I called my mom and I said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but this is what's happening." So she said, "Well, why don't we just go down to the hospital and find out?" We got to the hospital and the doctor asked if me and my family could wait in a room until he was ready to speak with us. As soon as the doctor came into the room, he said, "I'm so sorry, but we've tried to do everything that we could." Right at that moment, I can't remember what he said, but I knew he was saying that my son was gone. In disbelief, I did ask if I could see my son. He took me to the hospital room, and sure enough, there was my son laying on that hospital bed. His body still felt warm. My family was screaming and crying, didn't understand what was going on. Long story short, my son went to that graduation party. Due to a lot of underage drinking, there was a fight that had broken out. Someone yelled the cops were being called, and my son and his friend and almost all the other kids were scrambling trying to get out of there. So my son and his friend asked another person if they could get dropped off at home. Apparently the person that they hopped into the car with was drinking. I don't know if my son or his friend knew that at the time, but as they were driving away from the party, the driver was being reckless, overtaking other cars. There was, I believe, a total of 5 of them in the car. It was my son, his friend, and 3 other boys that were friends. One boy asked, "Hey, can you just pull on the side of the road and let me out?" And the driver pretended to pull on the side of the road, and he said, "Psych," and he just kept driving. He was driving so reckless that his car got into a crash and threw out, I believe, everybody in the car except for the driver. My son was tied up in the guardrail is what I found out. The other boy that asked to be let out was in the bushes with his head slit open. There was 2 people that died that day, my son and this other victim named Laula.